When you do VR, do you do it sitting down in some kind of a chair that you are free to move around the room? You can get those armrests out of your way, kind of out of your way, play games as you move around. What kind of gaming chair do you use? Well, we're gonna explore this one today that DXRacer sent us from their Craft series chair that's all about staying out of my personal space.
Hey, welcome back to Personal Space. Whoa, whoa. Hey, who's around me right now? Who's around me?
Even lets people behind you know that. Let's talk about this chair. Nearly $500 is what this chair is gonna set you back. Now, some of you out there have probably owned DXRacer chairs before. They're really common in the gaming industry. And not only that, they go from making pretty low priced ones to decently premium ones. If you remember that air mesh chair that I'm currently using in my other studio and I absolutely love, but is like more than I would ever have actually paid for a chair. That thing is expensive. But you got a really premium type of pleather. The chair feels really good to the touch. Everything about this chair seems to scream quality. When you're building it, one, I will say DXRacer chairs, I have never appreciated how easy they are to assemble. Little things, like where most chairs have screws here, they use magnets, although that one just popped out. That's not good. Apparently they're only in there with pressure and not with actual glue, so maybe they should glue those in. But little detail like that. That magnet just came off again, come on. Well, I'm gonna have to glue these in. DXRacer, you should glue in your magnets. When you go to build the chair, there's only a few times you even need screws, and the screws are already in place loose so that you can just take them out. So you've got the 4 screws. Another magnet is out on this one too. Okay, this is a shame, you guys. Fix your magnets. I'm gonna have to go get my freaking super glue and use it on a $500 chair. So you got 2 screws on either side, you got 4 screws in the bottom that holds the bottom plate on, and everything else just snaps together. When you put your casters in, all you do is you just push these in. The center part that has your shock here that helps lift and lower the chair just slides right in. Although on this chair, I wanna say something really weird. I don't know if the specifications were just a little off, but this falls all the way through the chair and is almost at a point where it could rub the ground underneath, which is odd because almost every other chair, including my other DXRacer chair, it doesn't fall that far down. It just barely sticks out the bottom here, like on this AK racing chair. So that kind of had me nervous. These handles on here actually just slide on. No more screws, no anything. They just slide onto the sides, and then you have your locks here, and of course your shock there. And then everything else about the chair pretty much comes assembled. The sidearms are already on, and another thing that I really appreciate about what DXRacer does, there's locks for everything. So if I like my armrest at some weird position there, it locks. Where like my AK racing chair, it's always movable. So let's say that's where you like them. You go to get out of your chair and you use your hands to move, and they slide back. Where with these, they're locked in place. They don't move around on you. I really like that about it. This chair, instead of coming with some weird back pillow that's not adjustable for your lumbar support, this has a lumbar adjustment on the side here. So when the more I turn this, the more the lumbar support sticks out, and you feel that in your lower back. Another kind of cool detail with this chair, they have this big cover inside the box that helps in case the box gets ripped or something does not, you don't want to get any scratches on there. They utilized that to be your assembly instructions as well. So instead of having some little book that could get lost, as we had with the desk recently, and I had to put it together without instructions, this is in there, it's ready, and it just kind of seems like it's less waste. You know, you typically get a big piece of cardboard that's protecting it from scratches and a book. This is just your book and your scratch resistance. I thought that was kind of a cool detail about it. So let's talk about the comfort of the actual chair. Now, first impression when I sat down, I thought, this feels like a chair that is made for support. Everything about the padding is stiff and firm. It feels like it's some kind of memory foam, but it's very dense. You don't feel like you sink into this chair. You feel like you land on this chair and you feel it kind of cradling your lower back, and you feel this pillow under your neck. And it's not bad. If you want a chair that you're gonna feel like you're comfortable in all day, you just sink into the chair, this is not the chair for you. This is a chair for someone who wants to feel like they're being supported. That said, one thing that I do wish they had done a little bit more of, the butt pad is very firm, but it's also not super deep. I noticed after about 2 or 3 hours of playing Demio sitting in one spot, my butt started to get sore. And I don't usually get a sore butt in chairs, so I will say that's one area I do wish this chair had better padding. The neck pillow has 2 adjustments. This is the one thing that's not exactly the most elegant solution for adjustments, but it's kind of neat that they have it because I haven't seen any other chair do it. These right here have 2 holes, so you choose which one you want to run the loop through, and that will then give you either a slightly higher or a slightly lower neck pad, depending on where it needs to land for you. The higher one still, I want it to be a little higher. I don't know, I'm not a super tall guy, but maybe my torso, maybe more of my height comes from my torso, because I feel like the torso section just isn't long enough for me. Butt to neck pad, if you use the lower setting, it's about 24 inches. The higher setting looks like it's about 25. And all together, the whole back of the chair looks to be approximately 32 inches. The butt portion is about 22.5 inches, but if you look at the portion where your butt actually can sit, 14.5 inches wide, which I feel like is a pretty narrow butt. I'm not a great person to judge butt size. So on your lower back here, just barely 12 inches before it starts to reach in and cradle you on the sides. And depth here, maybe 19 inches, depending on how far you got the lumbar support out, how it's gonna support your back. So it's not terribly small itself, but it does feel small to me when I get into it. The armrests are really nice though, because you can adjust them out or in, back and forth. It seems so weird to me that anybody would use their armrest like this, but maybe some people do because they sit on Zoom calls and talk like this. $500 for what seems to be a pretty premium durable chair. It is extremely heavy. When I had to move this chair up and down the stairs a couple times, I was like, wow, this is a heavy chair. So far, I've been decently impressed by the DXRacer series chairs, but keep in mind, I've only tried 2, and they have been DXRacer's most premium chairs, between $500 and $600 chairs. Boy, you don't feel like you're gonna fall down when you do that in this chair. I always am scared to do that. I don't trust. Okay, let's just go for it. Whew, it's pretty stable, I will say. Low, high. Also, it doesn't move a whole lot there. Let me see. 20 inches about, 17 inches. 3 inches of travel in the shock. Overall, I'm very happy to have this chair. It's a nice looking chair. It comes in a bunch of different designs. We can show you those here on the screen. $500 is a ton for a chair though. I think about this versus like my AK Racing, which even this was an expensive chair at nearly $300. I don't know that the features that this has, I would say, set this apart by another $200. That air mesh chair that I got from DXRacer and I tried on was like revolutionary. When you sat in it, you just felt that was a really nice chair. This feels like a good gaming chair. $500 is a lot. Love to know what you think out there though. Have you had other chairs from DXRacer? Have you bought some of their lower end chairs, and how did those feel to you versus some of their higher end chairs? Let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for coming out, and remember, personal space is important.
We get a 1, personal space. 2, personal space. 3, stay out of my personal space. 4, keep away from my personal space. 5, get out of that personal space. 6, stay away from my personal space.
And we'll see you in another reality.